Alright, how do we sound? Sounds good to me. This YouTube stuff set up and then we'll be ready to go. Hi Joshua, how's it going? Hey Vanity Winders, how's it going? Hey Ricardo, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. No, this is Bahamut. If you say so. Alright, so let's go do some Walk of Echoes and get some derps. We'll start out seeing what the server seems to want to do. They're typically spamming out either like 11 or 13. Trying to remember what conflux. Luckily I have this up, but what conflux drops Enchanter's Earring? Yeah, it's 10. So it's 4, 11, 10, and 13 are like the good ones. 2 people and 4. That's really it. Let's go join them. Interesting that more people aren't here doing it. Alright, we're trying to do this like we're more on the low end. Way. Trying to think who would be good to summon. Smooth. Weird. Don't look at me. Ah. Stupid miss. fossilizing. Wait, who did we lose? Oh, well, Seed. Golka best at physical attacks? I'm not sure what exactly that you're asking. You're talking about is the race Golko's best for physical attacks? I mean, they're going to be higher in strength, but I mean, the difference, you're only talking a handful of attack. I'm not sure if you're asking something else. I'm not sure if you're talking about the Archangel Golka or what it is. Golkas in general. So they're going to have a higher strength attribute, and 2 strength equals 1 attack, whatever you're building it out. So Golkas will have slightly higher attack, but the difference between races at 99 is so minuscule, I don't think it really makes... You're not really going to notice the difference. Because you're getting so much attack from like other buffs from people, that I think that's where you're going to get the biggest difference. Alright, let's go do 13. Might be a little rough solo, but we'll see if people join. Golkas have high strength also. I'm not saying they have the highest, but yeah, they have high strength and high vit. His Elvins have high strength, high mind. Mithras have high dexterity and agility. But for the most part are kind of average stat. Humes are kind of average stat but have the highest charisma. And then Tarus have the highest intelligence. Golkas also have the highest HP, so... What? Oh, looks like someone did just clear it. Well, it depends what you're talking about. So you're talking about AF gear. AF gear, for the most part, is very relevant, but that's when you're talking about the, like, +2 and +3 versions. And for a new player, it's going to be a bit until you're, like, really obtaining that stuff. So, I wouldn't say... I would put more of an emphasis on trying to get, like, your Sparks gear and/or Baled gear, and then start working on, like, Ambuscade gear, then start filling in your spots. Then, once you feel that you're solid, start working on trying to get, like, the +2 and +3 artifact gear. That's how I would progress and how I would go about it. My warrior feels hard stuck on gear till I unlock +2A. Well, like I said, that's why I would get Ambuscade gear. I'm trying to think. Ambuscade gear, Valorous gear is decent. Outside of that, I mean, what are some of the But, like I said, so artifact gear is very relevant, and it's top-end gear at this point, but I would, I would focus on that later. Don't focus on that out of the gate, because it takes a lot to do. It also costs a lot of money to do, to get all the mats to go from +2 to +3 is, it's a few mil per piece. And when I mean a few mil, I mean it can sometimes be upwards of like 5-6 mil. So for a new player, I know that's a lot of money. So, like I said, I would focus on ambuscade gear. Which race is better at War, Elven, or Golka? See, I don't think it matters. Like back in 75 days, I could see people making an argument on what race is stronger. At this point, at 99, with all the gear, and if you're super buffing with stuff, I don't think it matters at all. The difference is going to be so minuscule, and you're talking about less than a 1% difference if you're like parsing, if everything's the same across races. It really doesn't matter. At this point, I honestly think you should play whatever race that you personally want to play, whatever, you like. I honestly don't think it matters anymore. I could see arguments back in 75 days for basically not wanting like a Taru Paladin tank, because they would have low HP, but it's arguable they could still be good because they would have, high MP. They would have a strong pool to pull from, so... But again, gears so well. I mean, I can see a Golka being a white mage. I know people hated to see Golka white mages back at 75 days because of the small MP pool. But again, I don't think that's going to be as much of an issue nowadays. This other one off this guy. Yeah, but that's going to come down to skill as the player for for the Taru out parsing the Sam, and then gear. Because if all things were even, if skill levels and sorry, just kind of focus at the moment. If skill levels about the same, I would. The Elven should have been out parsing. But again, like I said, that would have been 75 days. Nowadays, like I said, it should be about even. Wait, I lost... Nice done, Z. How come when I do something wrong in FFXI, I resort to violence in real life instead of breaking shit? That would come down to, something, I would think, does that happen with any other games outside of 11? Or does that only happen with 11? I would say that tends to stem from frustration caused from another root issue. That you might have to deal with issues that are outside of video games. I feel like that's kind of a trick question, but it might not be, and if it's not, I'm sorry for saying that, because that's, yeah. That's not cool. As a war with Ambus Great Axe, should I be trying to use Steel Cyclone, or will he will still be better to unlock another weapon skills? So for the Ambuscade Great Axe, I don't know. I've not used it. So it's hard to say. I mean, you would need to, again, make assessments because, again, even if you gave me, like, a better example, like saying, oh, say I have Empyrean Great Axe, is it better for me to use Yuko's Fury or Upheaval? And honestly, that's going to really come down to your other gear. So the only thing that I can really suggest is go test it out yourself. I also think it's going to come down to wanting to use both, having the options to use both. I don't remember, doesn't it, like, I don't know if it's additional effects, but I thought the Great Axe, the Ambuscade Great Axe does like defense down or something like that. So, like I said, I would think you'd want to. You're going to be best off doing multiple weapon skills and having multiple weapon skill options because that's going to open up more options for skill chaining. But depending on what gear you have and going out and doing some testing, like doing 10 weapon skills of Steel Cyclone in your best gear for however it's modded, I believe it's Strength, Upheaval's Vit, and then doing, you know, Upheaval and seeing what gives better damage, then you kind of know better what to focus on. That's how I would go about doing it. Alright, come on, win Buffett Belt. Doing quite well. It's also a great way for CP and XP too. That's why this is a great event for new players, new and returning players. We can use solo E&M events now. Use trusts. I'm not sure because I haven't really done any. I would think. I mean, you're going to be 119, so I think sure. I don't see any reason why you wouldn't be able to, even without trusts. So let's go back to 13 again. But I mean, what was it? I guess you can use trusts in E&M fights. Like I said, I don't know. I can't think of the last time I've done one of those. I'm not sure what you would really want to be doing it for anyway. I'm wondering what is your objective out of it. The only thing that I could really see is, what is it, the Evoker's Orb? If you really wanted to go do Bahamut version 2 for some reason. Like I said, just thinking off the top of my head. Ah, okay. That makes sense. But yeah, I don't see any reason why you shouldn't be able to solo it. Oh, excuse me. Where'd everyone go? Come on. This? I think Fly High is your second 2 hours. Spirit Bomb. Damage on half of that wyvern. It's gotta be your like 96 or whatever. That JA is. I love the accuracy in 118 here. Man, Seed coming in clutch with his stuns. Hey Seth, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Glad you're enjoying my streams. Yeah, he's definitely a good stunner. He's definitely putting in his work here. Dang, so we soloed that one with 2 ads. I wonder what happened to the other guys. It's just ridiculous for TP gain nowadays. Yeah, I hate autocorrect too. It's like, no, I typed what I meant to type. Alright, let's cheat. Switch back to 119 gear once I find the mob, but I'm gonna cheat and give myself movement speed. Is he? I haven't really, I mean, I've used him a tiny bit, but not really much. That's good to know though if I need Dispel. Koromoru does an okay job dispelling. I will put it that way too. It's an okay job. It's not like a great job. It's just okay. The thing is, for some mobs, and I don't know, it's obviously got to be programming. Sometimes he doesn't stun at all, though. Definitely seems he not do any stunning. Weird. This is going to be all cleared out because that's what I pulled back to the start. Aha! I do have another Giga strength, or giant strength, not Giga strength. I don't know if anyone knows, because I never played much of Dragoon. Or your jumps just have lower accuracy than your normal melee attacks? It kind of feels that way. I would have thought it was the same. I know there is like some gear that has like jump accuracy and jump attack on it. And that's... I figure that that's specific, but... Try and jump in here real quick. Probably not going to make it. Because there was one thing about this, if it's more than 50%, you get locked out. Do I make it? Also, I had two where you're like entering right now and then it kicks you out. Yep, see, it just did it. They just happened to hit that 50% threshold. See, now you can't enter. What are they at now? Yeah, 53%. Just missed it. Alright, guess back to 13. What NMs are you waiting for? Oh, you're talking still the old school. Like you don't even have the weapon yet, I guess. You're talking about when you gotta do all the lottery spawn NMs. Yeah, it can be annoying waiting on pops. The dagger is ridiculous, though. Far enough away, you're not gonna link at this point. Alright, good. Pull over here. I don't know. I never actually made the dagger, so I don't know what NMs that path requires. I do remember. I remember that name for that NM. Isn't that Moblin? Where did it go? There's another one. Yeah, that's what I thought. Thought it was in that zone. Well, I mean, I've been on Bahamut now for, I don't even know. It's got to be well over 6 months, so I don't consider half a year new at this point. But, no, the server's been pretty good for the most part. Probably not be in front of the mob, though. Yeah, I agree. I didn't like how Azura was turning out. It was just everything was pay to win. No one wanted to do any content, and then just so much elitism. I'm very happy to leave Azura. Plus all the drama yells. That was never fun either. Wait, there's still the first one that I saw? Woof. I'm trying to remember what he drops, because like I said, never did him for that stuff, but he had some kind of a relevant drop. There. strongman. He had some drop that was good. I don't recognize either of these. Some 50 monk counter pants. Just like that. Oh, and that's why. And then the 6 store TP pants for Sam at 50. That's why. I think I remember camping those for a friend for Samurai. Makes sense. Yeah, you got all that too, all the AFKers, although you still have that on, like, Bahamut to some degree. Remember Catfight from Azura? No. No drops as of yet. Let's go jump in 11. Try and get a flume belt. Now, I never bothered watching, what was it? You're saying the Tiger King guy or whatever? I know what you're talking about. But no, I've not watched that yet. Don't even really have that much of a desire to watch it, to be honest, either. I know it's supposed to be based on a true story or something that was interesting, but yeah. Oh, that actually seems like a useful thing for a bot that isn't just for like one individual person. It's not that hard to figure out though. You can just do searches for all 3 zones and 90% of the time you can figure out just from doing a quick search. You guys just clearing all the ads? What are you doing? I mean, if you get an ad, by all means, take it, but... getting too many at this point. Alright, who? Oh, we lost Zed. Jeez, Goopeepee's already tapped? Do it again. Give me regen. Must have been the Barton songs. No ads. He is pretty decent as a trust. Some people make arguments that he is the best melee trust in the game, and I can see arguments being made for that. In terms of a melee, he is pretty strong. He weapon skills quite frequently. Ground strike for the most part. You know, chains with a decent amount of stuff. I can see him. Amnesia. So yeah, and then his stuns are good. Like, he's a pretty solid trust all around for a melee. Shintato too, I think, is stronger if, you know, all things are equal in terms of magic and melee and that. I would say in terms of just straight melee trusts, the Golka and Zed are probably up there. I'm trying to think who else. Iroh is decent, but she's kind of like a hybrid. She does, like, all her weapon skills are like magic based. She nukes a tiny bit. So like I said, she's kind of more of a hybrid. I like her for like doing Apex mobs, because some of the other trusts all have accuracy problems. Whereas for her, because they're always magic based, they're always going to be like doing skill chains. So it's kind of hard to rate her in there. Come Come on, Flume Belt. We gotta get some kind of a belt. Or not belt, some kind of a drop tonight. Should actually get multiples, but... So the drop rates aren't too bad. Yeah, she's the best if you're trying to have someone open skill chains for you. Then she's really strong. The problem I have with her is her accuracy is lacking if you're trying to do higher tier mobs. Like, she's horrible on Apex mobs, in my opinion. She like whiffs like 80% of the time. On weapon skills. It's pretty rough. Dang, considering it said that this wasn't active, you guys are in here quick, or is this the server reporting slowly? Because it did say the event that I cleared was at 99%, so... But yeah, getting her to open skill, like, yeah, if you want to trust it's going to open skill chains for you and accuracy isn't really an issue, she's by far the best. I don't know of any other trust that opens skill chains like she does. I know there are some trusts that will open skill chains for you, but like I said, not like she does. If you definitely want to use her if you're trying to do weapon skill trial stuff. We gotta break weapons. Nice. No. Come back in here. We don't need any ads. Come back in here. No, guys. So now the ads might come over. Should have pulled her back into the middle of the hallway. Now well. Yeah, it makes sense. Dude, skill chain damage can be ridiculous, so yeah. Oh dang, they're all right here. soil geode. Yeah. August is definitely the better tank. Keep forgetting to summon Zed. Oh no! Someone died. Oh, they have like 50 freaking... These things suck. Yeah, I don't keep geodes on. What day is it? Really? Don't remember these things having that big of an aggro range. I'll follow you guys, because considering I'm going to have low HP in a second. Blood aggro. I'm utterly shocked I did not aggro. Come on, Flume Belt. It's starting to get packed here now. Seeing all the people show up. Alright, let's go to 13. Yeah, I still need to go through and unlock, finish doing Wings of the Goddess and unlock the Lilith fight. I've never even done it yet. That is on my list of things to go through soon-ish, as soon as I have some spare time. You know, that gear's ridiculous too. I still find it funny I haven't finished Wings of the Goddess on any of my characters. What difficulty are you doing it on? I guess we can go with Iroha. Actually, no. I want the stuns. Yeah, I mean, that's how kind of it was when I was trying to do Wings of the Goddess way back when. We're talking still back 75 days. It was just always a chore to just be like, okay, let's go and do it. Okay, let's go and do it. And I find it also really annoying that you have to, like, stop and then go do these side quest missions. Like, I'm not even sure how I'm gonna, like, I feel like I'm gonna have to go through, do all the side quest missions for all 3 cities to make guides for that, then go through and then make, you know, something for the actual missions itself of Wings of the Goddess. I just don't know why they had to add in all those. Like, it's fine that you have that side quest line. Like, that's fine. That's great. Go ahead and do that. But why in heaven's name do you need to have it so that's tied into missions? That you have to do this to proceed in missions. It just doesn't make any sense. Is it? Okay. I mean, I don't know. That's why I've heard people say, you know, just spam it out on, you know, like, on easy or very easy. I've heard people say that, but it's kind of, I mean, I also heard that drop rates aren't as good on higher difficulties compared to other high tier battles. But that's going along with Odin and other stuff. I have done the Odin fight. I've only done it like a couple of times. I need to do that more anyway and get like the body and head piece and stuff. That's really good. Okay, so you just hit 99, so the question is like, so what's your gear at? Domain Invasion's something to do, but Domain Invasion, you know, that doesn't take very long. Especially if you're on a server that, has been continuously killing Miryu. You know, you only need to do 1 Domain Invasion, a day to cap. If they've killed it enough. Ooh. Coming this way, come this way, come this way. Keep coming. Keep coming and don't blink. Keep coming. Let's go. Yeah. This is a great event for a newly returning person who just hit 99. Is because that's kind of why I'm doing this also. Like right now, if you look, I'm in Sparks gear. See item level 117. It's kind of why I was doing this, since I kind of just finished my series, and then have a bailed weapon. So it's 119. And then the rest of my gear isn't even all that great. Like, yeah. Brutal weapon, or brutal earring, brutal weapon. Like, I don't even have an ammo piece. Like, goading belt, that's eh. Like, I don't even have... I have slightly better gear than I normally do, because I moved a lot of my lower level gear off my character for space. But, the point of this is, it would be very easy for a brand new player to have better gear than this. Granted, I do have, like, merits maxed out, so that's a slight advantage, which I got the gear. He's doing that, but yeah, doing Walk of Echoes is great. Let's say Domain Invasion is really good and worth doing. Trying to knock out Ambuscade where you can is definitely suggested. Ambuscade has ridiculously good gear. So try doing that. If you can try and get a group, even if you're just doing like easy or normal version 1, because that's going to get you points faster and will get you into the +1 gear of the Ambuscade gear relatively quickly, and then potentially even get you a couple +2 pieces. You can upgrade the +1 to +2 pieces with the metals and fibers. If you do enough Ambuscade, you can actually have 4 +2 pieces in 1 month. 2 from one set, 2 from the other set. And then just obviously have the other piece just a +1. Yeah. Okay, so you got full Ambuscade gear at the moment. It depends which job then you have on what you want to focus on. Domain Invasion, like I said, because that's one way to get like Rise and Jima gear and even like Estia Sky gear. If you need that, just farming Gil for potential Abjuration gear. Again, it depends what you're trying to gear up. And then potentially start working on like finish out missions if you haven't done that already, and then trying to go through and do like Omen. So that way you could start working on AF +1, and then after that try and unlock like Dynamis Divergence, and then if you can get in groups and start doing that. That's kind of like how you want to progress. What gear do you want to go after? If you got full +1 Ambuscade gear, I mean, just make sure you keep trying to do it a little bit every month so you can get it all upgraded to +2, and then just start focusing on where you want to fill in other gear. Like I said, this event I think is fantastic for a new 99 player. If you get any of the drops like Flume Belts, Wind Buffet Belts, Pixie Hairpin, Enchanter's Earring, if you get any of that stuff, even if you want to keep it, I would immediately warp out, go send it to yourself so it's not on your character, and then you can obtain another one. And that way you can go back later and sell it. Because like I looked before I came and started doing this event, pretty much all of them, I think, was it one of the items dropped below 10 mil, but everything was more than 10 mil as of before the campaign started. So if you obtain, one of them, maybe hold on to it till the, like 2 weeks after the event's over, then throw it up on the auction house, you'll likely make more than 10 mil off of that. That would be one suggestion. Plus, the other thing about this event, like I said, you can just, like, it's good XP and CP, which is a great thing to be making progress on for a new player. Yeah, Tenzin, it can be annoying because if he gets off that, if he gets off his ultimate skill chain, it just ends the fight. But honestly, that high tier battle isn't too bad if you're a decent blink tank with Utsuzumi. If you can do that and just keep your shadows up, really, really easy fight. I would always be doing it on difficult, on either War Nin or Nin War. Just make sure you have trusts that are capping your haste. But yeah, like I said, it is just annoying because even if like you're doing well with shadows, all he needs to do is get one skill chain out of it, and it'll do. I can't even remember what it is. It's not Radiance, but it's some crazy skill chain, and it just ends the fight. Annoying. Good starter jobs for a first beginner? Well, it depends. Depends what you want to do. It also depends, are you trying to solo? Are you trying to join a link shell? What do you really want to obtain in the end? If you're kind of just doing your own thing and gonna go for the flow, I think War is a fantastic starter job. because it does good damage. It can tank. It can tank a decent amount of stuff pretty decently. It can use all the weapon types, so it's great for when you want to level another job. You can have everything pretty much skilled up, skilled very high. And yeah, it's just, like I said, it's just a solid job all around. If you're trying to like join a link shell or something, doing more of a support job, White Mage is always good. People are always looking for healers. Scholar's a solid job. It's a great nuker and healer and just like buffer. Red Mage is strong. Red Mage is gonna take a little bit more though. So Red Mage and Blue Mage are both fantastic jobs, but they're not. I would not recommend them necessarily being great starter jobs, just because there's so much that goes into them. Like you need to have a melee set, you need to have a nuking set, you need to do, you know, all these other different things. So, Ew, I think I got it. No, I didn't. Sweet. Trying to think what other, like, Geo's a great starter job, however, Geo is a time and money investment. But it's a very easy job to play. People are always looking for Geos. People are always looking for Bards, but Bard is a project. Like, people typically don't want a Bard unless you're like a 4-song Bard with a Galahorn and Honor March and all that stuff, so... Like I said, my recommendation would be... The 4 starter jobs I think would be best would be War, White Mage, Geo, and Scholar. Because they don't take a lot and they can fill a lot of different roles. But like I said, Geo's a time investment just to get all the spells. And then also doing all the AF, Empyrean, doing all that stuff. That's a investment too. Time investment, that is, though. Sorry, just trying to do multiple things at once. Should catch up on chat. We'll refresh that before it wore off and I lost that HP. Oh, what the hell is that one move he does that does a huge AoE Dark Blast? I didn't think he, if you're talking about Tenzin, I didn't think he did a Dark Blast. You showed it's not coming from the Tarus. I know there's, the Tarus will cast Meteor, which is annoying. Like I said, I know he does some like skill chain radiance. The other annoying thing about the Tenzin fight is that he'll just randomly be like, oh, you're not taking any damage. Or you can't like hit me with any weapon skills for like 30 seconds or whatever. It's annoying. Going relatively fast. Let's stick with 13 for now. Yeah, that's his, that's what I'm talking about, his ultimate skill chain. I didn't think it was dark. I thought it was, like, light-based. But yeah, if you have, so he'll only do that if he actually connects a couple weapon skills together, and then he'll, like, do a skill chain. Because he'll do, like, a lower tier skill chain, then he'll just end up doing that, like, ultimate skill chain. As long as he doesn't connect any of the lower tier ones, he won't do the higher one. Which is kind of what I'm saying, because if he does just connect a couple skill chains, he'll just be like, okay, I'm just going to end the fight. So, as long as you're, like, considering all his weapon skills are, like, most Sam weapon skills, where they're just a one-hit weapon skill. So, one individual shadow will do it. So, being able to blink tank it does extremely well if you're good at blink tanking. I have, like, a live stream of it. I did, like, a live stream where I was doing that on difficult on war, I think. Let's see if I can find it for you. I see you failing. Let me go look at my live streams. Somehow lost Koromoru already? Or did I not summon it? I must have just not happened to not summon it. Alright, let me see if I can find this. It was a while ago. Salvage. That was well before that. After that. opposite? Yeah, here we go. So I was doing Tenzin and then the one with Ultimate Omega. That's weird. I mean, I'm not... I don't know if you need to be an affiliate with Twitch for that to happen. Because I'm not an affiliate with Twitch. So maybe that's why. I can try and look into that later. But that would be my guess is why you can't do like the free Amazon 1 month thing. Because, yeah, I'm not an affiliate and don't plan to be. Basically because I have some issues with Amazon. I use Amazon for... well, I don't actually buy anything on Amazon, but I use Twitch just because of its benefit to me at no loss. But yeah. So what is this? Hi, retired gamers. How's it going? Actually, you don't need Nirvana, although I know a lot of people who play Summoner, you know, like, if you're gonna be trying to do pickup groups or stuff, they kind of make it, like, required, but it's honestly not. Because Nirvana's not even the best if you're doing Magic Blood Packs. If you're doing physical, it is the best. But if you have all the other gear, you can get by without it. But Nirvana is definitely strong. And this is coming from someone who has one on my main. I actually have been thinking about at some point, not anytime in the immediate near future, but to get Summoner geared up on Caulifla, but not get a Nirvana. But it does require a decent amount of gear. You definitely need some AF +3. You need to get some of the +1 cursed gear from, what's it called? From Sky using Abjuration. There's just a lot you need to get. But no, you definitely don't need a Nirvana to do well. I've seen non-Nirvana summoners beat out Nirvana summoners, but that's because they had the rest of the other gear backing them up and they knew what they were doing. You can't get FFXI to work and download onto a PC. I really hate how they stopped it on the consoles. I don't get why it had to be such a pain in the ass for PCs. Aim and download. Well, what problem? Which way do I get turned around? So where are you having a problem? Because that's what I made a video covering that. Because you can just download it off of Essie's website. Like you go to playonline.com, then pick your region. And then it should be on the top right, download. You gotta download all five. There's 5. You gotta download all 5 packages. After you download all 5 packages, make sure they're all in the same folder. I typically like to move it out of the downloads folder, so that way you're not mucking up your downloads folder with, you know, even more folders once the self-extracting goes. So I would move all 5 of those out to some other folder by itself. then run the first download file as a self-extracting file that should unextract it all. Then you should have a new folder that says like FFXI or install or something like that. I don't remember. I'd have to look at my other PC. And then you just run the setup and then just run through the setup. Then go through all the POL stuff. It has like 4. It should be 5 parts, not just 4. If you didn't have all 5, that could have been the problem. So, like I said, so there's 5 parts. You got to make sure all 5 are downloaded and all are in the same folder. If it's not, it won't work because all 5 of them are like zipped and compressed. However, it's set up so it's a self-decompressing file. So you don't need like WinRAR or WinZip to unzip them. They are zipped and compressed, but just by running the first download file and having, again, you need to, if all 5 files aren't there, then it's not gonna uncompress it correctly, and then the install wouldn't work. So that is really the big thing. I don't want to assess it. So you, like I said, you want to make sure you have all 5 parts, all 5 are in the same folder, and then just run the first part. Then it'll create a new folder in wherever you had those 5 parts. And then that's where it'll be like FFXI setup. You will run that, and then it'll run through and install like how you would install any other application on your OS. And then you go through all that. Let me hurry up and summon and get in there to help these guys. Oh, geez, and the third one's coming. I'm gonna go jump on that. Or maybe not, never mind. Need to get ads on top of everything else. And we got the ads somehow anyway. What's the ad? How do you get the rest of the orchestrating roles? Orchestration roles? You're talking about the music? Like the sheet music so you can play the music? Or are you talking about roles for Corsair? I'm not sure what you're asking, Michael Rivers. 25 days were great, playing all night and getting 1 level. When you finally got 75, you were playing. Yes, I do agree. It was a completely different game from 75 days than it is now. And yeah, it was definitely a big deal every time we got a level. This is the only game that I actually know of when someone actually did level. Like, everyone said, like, congratulations, and didn't just say it, it's just kind of like, oh, congrats, kind of like a, you know, half-hearted thing, just kind of like, oh, you know, I'm just trying to be nice. Like, people actually meant it, like, because they knew how much of a big deal it was to get a level. Yeah, this was a completely different game back in 75 days. It still has like a shadow of what it was, but yeah, I don't think we're ever gonna have a game like it was back in 75 days. If it's within your budget, you could try the Steam version of 11. You just need to get a captain rank before going after all the other steps towards unlocking a mythic. Yeah, doing mythic stuff is a chore and a half. You guys don't care about aggroing the other dudes. No, I completely agree with both of those statements. Like how it is nowadays is good, but yeah, like I said, it was a completely different game. I mean, heck, back in 75 days, I used to say 11 was like 2 different games. You had the game of getting to 75, then you had endgame, which was like a completely different thing in all in itself. It was like 2 completely different games wrapped into one. Now, see, and I agree with you right there. That's exactly what I've said. I've been asked many times on, you know, while I've been streaming, they're like, would you go and play, if SC released a Classic 75 server, would you go back and play it? And my answer is no. And it's not that I wouldn't want to go play it. Like I always say when asked that, I'm like, if I could somehow, like, go in, like, the hyperbolic time chamber and, like, play the old version of, you know, 75 for, like, 2-3 years and then come out and only, like, a day has passed in real life, then sure, I'd be willing to play it. But I can't, in my life now with everything I going on, I can't invest the amount of time into the game as it took back in the days. Like, I can't spend, like, 4 hours camping a lottery spawn NM only to make absolutely no progress whatsoever. Because, you know, in 4 hours I killed it twice, but I didn't get the drop. Like, God, I, like, wasted, like, half a summer camping, was it Sozo Rogueberry for Thief's Knife. And then they turn around and make it 100%. But it's like, yeah. No, exactly the same way. I'd be all for it. I'd love to see you know, an FFXI classic server come, and I would be rooting for it to do well. I would hope it would do well. I'd hope you'd have interest in it, and because it was quite the game. And I might check it out, but I don't think I would level past 50. Be willing to hop on, maybe play it a little bit, and then, like... Okay, cool. Get to, like, level 50, because 50 isn't that hard. It was post 50 when the XP got absurd getting levels. No, 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 where are you going? Get back here. Get back here. Get back here. Yeah, we got a Burt Gang Paladin here, so yeah, he can tank it. No, all you gotta do is be able to access the zone, I think. I don't think you have to do, or do you have to do... I think you just need to be able to access the zone. Let me look. I don't remember. But if I remember correctly, it's just a matter of accessing the zone. You do need to, oh, you need to be on the mission Kate Sith, but that's like getting access to that. Like, I don't think you can get to the zone in the past without getting to on the mission Kate Sith, so basically the same thing. You know what, we'll summon Omnia since Joker died. There's not much difference there. Yeah, so that's all. You just need to be on Kate Sith and then get your way to Zarkabard in the past. Yeah. Now you do need to, you do need to clear the 3 cities, you know, Sandy, Windy, and Bastock, for Void Watch to be able to do the Empyrean upgrade stuff. So that is one thing to note, because that's kind of tied to Walk of Echoes. So you can't unlock any Empyrean weapon skills until you've done the Walk of Echoes stuff. Or not, I mean Void Watch stuff, not Walk of Echoes. So that is something to be aware of. Someone else jumped on it. Can't Beast Charm, like, stuff in Adeline zones that's, you know, higher than 99? I mean, I didn't think you could charm... I don't know, I never really played Beast. That is actually one job I can't really, speak into. I only really leveled it to, like, really leveled it to, like, 40. I never really did anything with it. Past that, I did like Abyssia leveling and stuff, which doesn't really count. Yeah, blue is definitely fun. I've been doing a lot more stuff with blue since I have blue leveled up. I actually did, and I'm probably gonna release a video for it next week. I typically don't like doing like show-off videos, but I remember back when I was doing like some AoE stuff, someone was like, "Oh, go AoE some Apex mobs," and I'm like, "Yeah, no, I'm not doing that." So actually, the other day, I was like, okay, let's just go try it for shits and giggles. And went and actually, you know, was AoEing like 8 Apex crabs at once and actually, like, killing it. Did it like 4 or 5 pulls. Now, I don't recommend doing it at least solo. If you had like a Geomancer and and like a tank and stuff, so it was much more efficient and faster, that would be ridiculous XP. But, XP was actually pretty bad. I'd be much better off going in, like going to Rising Gema and AoE pulling, and that would be better XP than trying to AoE Apex mobs. But it was, it was a fun and interesting thing to go in AoE Apex mobs. And blue's the only job, I can't even think of any other job that would be able to AoE like that. I mean, maybe Black Mage. Even then, Black Mage, you wouldn't, because Black Mage's spells AoE and get split between mobs. Like, I mean, it's possible Black Mage could do it, but it would be even less efficient than Blue Mages. I mean, you just sleep, nuke, sleep, nuke, sleep, nuke. Yeah, that just seems to be brutal. It wasn't, like I said, it wasn't too bad doing it on blue, but like I said, it just still isn't anywhere near as efficient as... Oh, I already got it. But yeah, it's not as efficient as doing like Rising Gema mobs. Yeah, I still don't see how War... See, because the way it was efficient, I was constantly CCing the mobs, so they were either slept, petrified, or gravity. So I'm not getting hit. If you were to, say, do Fell Cleave on War, you're going to be tanking all that damage. And having like 8+ Apex mobs hitting you even on War, like, I mean, I could give it a try, but I just don't think that's going to end well. I think with the amount of cures you're going to be having to get with trusts, you're going to be losing hate, and then stuff's going to be running all over. Your healers die. I just don't see War able to pull it off. They could definitely do the damage, but I don't, like I said, I don't think they would efficiently keep hate. And yeah, I just don't, for Apex mobs, I just don't see it working. I'd love to be proven wrong, but I can't imagine it working well. But yeah, like, so that's the other thing. When I was doing it on Blue, I did have trusts, but I only had like these guys. Like, what did I have? I had Cupid Freed, Star Sybil, Brigid, and then yeah, and then this one. Because this was XP for an XP boost, magic attack boost, and I was like, screw it. I was like, so this is charisma and defense boost, and then evasion boost. So I'm like, so when they're like hitting me, if I'm like sleeping them, it was like, okay, it's not a big deal. You know, hopefully, well, I mean, hopefully it's like a little bit of evasion and defense would make a difference. But even then, I know it's not that big of a difference. Like, I could have done it without them, and I know I would have, you know, done just as well. But it's like, you couldn't do that with War. You would have to be relying on trusts and stuff. Because the thing is, when I was doing it on Blue, I was never engaging, because it was only just spellcasting. I mean, to be honest, I would prefer not to ever have to server transfer, just because it's, you know, it's a chore getting all your stuff organized for you to leave. Then it's just, you're also paying additional money. Wait, these proc? I realize these proc. But yeah, I was like, I just couldn't take Azure anymore. All just the elitism, the negativity, like literally XP campaigns going on, and you can't even like make a CP group because people are just like, oh no, just buy CP points. I'm like, no, I'm not giving anyone my money to go CP. It's like, go fuck yourself. I can go solo that. So I don't know. Like I said, Azure was great when I first transferred to it, and then in like the 6 months before I like left the server, it was just, like I said, just was garbage in my opinion. So it was fantastic for pickup groups, like I said, when I first server transferred to it. I will admit that, and there was definitely a change. There was a change in the culture. So. Yeah, it definitely degraded. Like I said, I had a whole video I made about it when I was about to server transfer. And like I said, it was something I was thinking... It's not like I just decided to do it willy-nilly. It was... I'd actually been debating about doing it for probably close to 6 months. So... I also just hate the whole, like, need an ultimate weapon. It's like Rima, or, you know, we're not gonna bother inviting you. And it's like, okay, so I could have a Rima and then have completely garbage rest of the gear, and I'm gonna be doing garbage damage. But you would invite me, as opposed to someone who has ridiculous gear but hasn't taken the time yet to actually make a Rima, and you wouldn't invite them, even though they would blow the Rima person that I brought up out of the water. It's just a very, yeah, like I said, close-mindedness, and I just, yeah, didn't like it. But enough ranting about Azure. No, there is not an XP event going on. I didn't mention an XP event. I don't even remember why. Oh no, that's because I was talking about doing a CP part. That you couldn't even like get in a CP party on Azure even during XP campaign. Is what I was saying. Because everyone's like, oh, go just go buy CP. Like, no. CP event was last month. The XP and CP campaign was last month. It's probably going to be another 2-3 months before we have it again, so that's typically the, we have one like every 3 to 4 months. You got that. No, I agree with that. That's the same way I do it. I make a Rima because I want to make it, not go so I can get into a, you know, get an invite for a group. Yeah, doing Empyrean weapons on Azure is just rough, because trying to accumulate the items in Abyssia is, like I said, just rough. Yep, Walk of Echoes. So it's Walk of Echoes. It's high tier or not high tier battles. Unity. So it's Unity accolades, double accolades, which sucks considering they just capped accolades and sparks. Dang, still no drop. So it's Unity accolades, high tier battles, yeah, Walk of Echoes. What else is going? You can get increased seal drops, along with it being the campaign for like Kindred Crests and High Kindred Crests, not the Sacred Kindred Crests. So, like the 99. All the BCNM orbs that are like above 75 but not item level. So there's a campaign for that. I know you can get, like, if you want to get Empyrean armor, that's a good place to get slips for that. I'm trying to think what else is going on. I had a video about that. Well, it's sad, too. It's sad that people want to essentially get a master job without doing any work. And then it's also sad that people want to make money just literally killing mobs that you can do solo. And that people, like, expect to get money that way. It's, like I said, it's pathetic on so many levels. Like, I'm sorry, never have and never will pay for, CP. It's ridiculous. it's like if you're just gonna pay to have someone CP, it's like paying. It would have been back in 75 days, paying someone to level up your character. It's like, why are you even then playing? Why are you even paying for your subscription? It's like, oh, I don't want to do that. It's boring. Okay, then why are you even playing the game? Why don't you go play another game? Nice. Yeah, like that's kind of what I was saying. It's annoying when you server transfer. You gotta make sure you're clearing out your delivery box. That was another thing why it took me a while to leave Azure. I needed to make sure I cleared out all those Sisyphus fragments I had. Yeah, card campaigns are definitely good. We had card campaigns though for the last 2 months. We had one for, it was like all month, and then last month it was like for the last week of the month. I mean, I'm sure we're going to be getting Empyrean Armor +2 and +3 at some point. It only makes sense. So I'm interested when that's going to happen. Is it going to be soon? I haven't heard anything, and I don't know. Well, it's not even so. It's like you're saying CP party buying is too rich. I don't even think it's that. Even if you have to go Y, it's like you again. If you can go solo CP and make money, because you can be killing something that you're making decent CP on, and also be farming that you turn around and make money on. Instead, you literally just want to throw money away. That you're going to have to take time to earn money elsewhere just to gain CP, whereas you could be making gil and CP at the same time. Like I said, it doesn't make sense to me. Like right now, I do a little bit of CPing during the week while I'm at doing work. Since I'm working from home during the week, I'm typically doing, like I said, a little bit of CPing while I'm also doing work in Ryzen Jima, and I'm making ridiculous money because I'm able to sell the drops off the mobs. I'm also spawning NMs. That when you kill them, you get the like the stones for upgrading your Ryzen Jima gear, like the Fern Stones, Plucid Stones. Etc. And they sell for like, what is it? A stack of 99 Fern Stones sells for like 1,000,000 gil. Stacks of the other 2 stones sell for like 150,000 per stack. And it's like I go in there, you know, by the end of the week from like, you know, just CPing, I have like, you know, almost a stack of pouches, which is multiple stacks of all of it. It's just easy money. Like I said, and I'm gaining CP while I'm doing it. I just don't understand the thought process of paying money for CP. Oh, I mean, I get that too. But again, I don't even understand that. It's like, why are you even playing the game when you're going to be trading real-life money for fake money? It's pay-to-win stuff. I don't do anything pay-to-win, honestly. Like, when I was playing Apex Legends, never paid a penny into that. It's a free game. Never did anything. I don't understand pay to win. Come on, win Buffett belt. Like what I sold, like all my stuff at 75, made like 500 mil, and back then that was like having infinite money, so I could buy back a nice cushion. Yeah, I mean, yes, back in 75 days, that was an absurd amount. I mean, 5 mil was a good amount of gil. So 500, that was an absurd amount of money. Yeah, like I said, I just don't understand it. I want to use my hard-earned money for, you know, doing things in real life, like jumping out of planes and stuff like that. And I mean, I do invest money in gaming. Obviously, you got to buy the game and buy the systems, and I don't mind doing that. But beyond that, no, I don't really. Like I said, the little bit I played League of Legends back in the day, never put any money into that. I'm trying to think what other like free games where they try and get you to pay. If I like done and just like nope. I don't play mobile games. I think like the vast majority of mobile games are garbage. Like I don't even have a single game on my phone. Like, no, if I want to play a video game, I want to play a real video game, not your little Candy Crush. I mean, it is true, but I mean, even if you have, like, boatloads of money, I still think you'd be better off spending it on something else than literally throwing away on a digital thing. It just doesn't make sense to me. So I think it's some kind of pressure of some kind. If I had to guess what I think it is, I think it's, instant gratification. It's much easier to just be like, oh, well, I have over $100,000 in my banking account. I would rather just, you know, pull out my credit card, here, just pay, let someone level my character up, I can just go AFK somewhere, while they're leveling up my character, I can just go to the auction house, buy everything, I can pay a mercenary to go farm whatever gear I want, and now look, I got a top-end character and I didn't even have to do anything. I mean, I guess that's what it is. I still don't get it because, as I've said before here, the best thing I love about this game, it's not about the destination. It's not about, oh, look at my character, it's all top end and everything. It's about the journey getting there. It's not great. And so, like, if it is about the journey, which I feel it is, and not the destination, then, you know, what's the point of having someone, you know, do everything for you that you're literally just paying them? That's my thought about it. I think the other thing is, especially on Azura, when you're seeing basically being like, oh, so this is, like I said, I didn't see it before I left, but when like I first went to the server, basically being like, Melee Apex party, Rima's only. It's like, you need a Rima DD to go do an Apex party? Like, I think your requirements are a little high, and then I think you might have some, like, noobs come in and be like, oh, well, I need that. Okay, well, let me just pull out my credit card and do that. Like I said, I think it's more of an, like, an instant gratification thing, would be my guess. Yeah, that too. If they feel they don't have much time. But again, if you don't have much time, then why are you playing an MMO? Like, any MMO is a time sink. So it's like, oh, I only have like an hour a day to play. Even then, that's more than enough to progress in this. But I mean, say you have like, oh, I have 3 hours a week to play. Then why are you playing an MMO? Pick up some offline game, or pick up something like Apex Legends or something like that, where you can jump in, you know, do, you know, a round or two of it, and then go about your life. It just does not compute with me. No, I know it is a circular thing where it's like they buy the guild, and then turn around and then get someone to do it who's probably, like you said, the same person who just sold them it. So it's like that person's just winning hand over fist there. They get the real life money and they get the in-game money. The thing is, you really don't. I mean, yes. You know, having Master is strong. Especially for some jobs that's even, like, really strong. Like Blue Mage, the 1200 job point thing you get that, like, ups all your traits. Like, that's really strong. Like, for Red Mage, getting Temper 2, that's really strong. But the thing about it is, if you don't have the gear to back it up, like, CP only goes so far by itself. And again, it's something that you can easily obtain yourself, so just paying someone else to do it, it just doesn't make sense to me. And you don't, like, I've also, you know, already mastered a few jobs and had stuff. I have also taken the time to gear up a job before even playing it. So we're talking the job has 0 job points, but I actually do get it, like, a Rima, and get it, and it has other top-end gear, especially when it shares gear from other jobs that I've already, you know, geared up and everything. And then start playing it with 0 CP, and you can still do really well. Like, another thing is, like, right now, let's even see. How much? Okay, so it's got a fair amount. I did start CPing it, but it's like, my Corsair only has 300 job points, and even then, and I've done, like, ambuscade, VD runs with it and stuff like that. Like, you don't need to have job points. Like, don't get me wrong, it's strong, but it definitely is not required. I'm not sure why people think it is. Die. I mean, even still, I spent months with my blue, like, below 500 job points, and still did plenty of things with it. What is it? When I went and soloed, God, what was it? Was it the Soul Flare? The, like, 129, Is it 129? Yeah, I think it's 129. Soul Flare. That's the tier 1 in Ryzen Gma. What soul it is. I was only at like 300 job points on Blue. It's like I said, don't get me wrong. Like getting a lot of those like 1200 abilities are strong. Like Scholar. I think it's at 550 for Scholar, where you get the it lowers your stratagems from like it's like 45 seconds to like 33 seconds. Like that's a big deal, lowering your timers on your stratagems. But again, it's not required unless you're trying to like do you know, go do Omen bosses where you're trying to like skill chain nonstop. Dang, still no belt. Yes. I do. I know they said a long time ago that they would purge characters, but from my understanding, they do not. I believe all characters are retainable. It's very easily, as long as you have your POL ID and password. Actually, you don't even really need your password because you can reset that if you ever had a Square Enix account. If need be, you can always contact customer support and they can help you out. As long as they can somehow identify that you're you, they'll let you know what your POL ID is and reset your password. But yes, you should still have your character. I mean, yeah, but that's if you're requiring it. And the thing about it is again, but you're saying death as a requirement, but what were they doing that required death? Like Warder of Courage? You know, you're trying to go do top-end content. I mean, like, say I wanted to go jump in on Warder of Courage, and I was like, oh, let me come on my Dragoon, and it's 118. No, you're not going to get in on that. You know, from a shout. So, I mean, depending on what content you're doing, you at least need to be, you know, reasonable for what you're approaching. And even if so here's another reverse example of that. So let's say I had Black Mage, and let's say it's Mastered and I have Death. But let's say I have no Magic Burst gear. I like, you know, it's what is it? Like Alluvian Skirmish gear. It's all that stuff. And that's what I'm using. If someone looked at that and be like, is this your Magic Burst gear? And it's like, I don't have any Magic Burst gear. This is just like my nuking gear. They'd be like, yeah, we're gonna pass on that. And I would understandably, like, I would, if I was building a group for that and doing that, I would be like, I'm sorry, you need to make a little bit of progress on your gear, or else you're just literally giving the mob more HP, making it harder for everyone else to carry you. So there's a difference between, you know, being at a point where you need to be carried and then also just needing everything to do content. No, I get it, and it's like, I was just giving a counter example. There's... Who did I miss it here? This is my point is, like I said, gear is going to go much further than job points, but job points are going to go far also. It's a matter of having both and knowing where, it's also knowing where you should be to progress. And it's, like I said, and it's about the journey of progression is what I think. That's, like I said, the biggest thing that I like about this game. It feels rewarding when you feel, oh, I've made it to that next level. I could start doing this. I can now go take this NM, or go do, you know, this Unity NM, or go do this event where I couldn't do it before. Because I've progressed and I've gotten these 3 armor pieces, and it's making my weapon skills do much better, and my accuracy is good enough. You know, there's a lot to it. But, just saying, it's just, yeah. It's a lot going on, and the game's so complicated, it's hard to get into, like, specifics. No, I completely agree. Like I said, that's what I don't understand. Because when I obtain a piece of gear, especially from doing a difficult NM or something like that, you know, I feel kind of rewarded. I feel like I did make progress for that. So when you're just literally paying someone to do that, you're not actually even gaining any of that satisfaction. I just, like I said, does not compute, don't understand. Come on. Sweet, I only have one. I mean, that was the other thing. Think about back to 75 days. Back in 75 days, no one ever expected someone to literally have the best in slot, you know, best equipment, because it was like basically impossible to have best everything. You know, that was never expected. It was expected to know how to play your job and be geared decently, but no one ever expected to have +1 everything and, you know, whatever. Make sure, oh, you're a war, you have a riddle, and, you know, and whatever else. And, yeah. Dang, I'm just not finding anyone. Didn't see one single boss. Watch, we'll get the belt this time. Nope, still no. I will say that is the annoying thing about like this event in Void Watch is just, what is my inventory up to now? Ugh. I was like 30 of 80, now I'm like 73 of 80. Wasn't expected, but man, did you get invites so easy? I'm not sure what you're referring to or asking. Hey Cloud Chief, do you use window or add-ons? No, I do not. I play on vanilla, and have played on vanilla well over 99% of my time playing 11. And I don't really have any desire to play with third-party programs. And that's not just with 11, that's kind of with any game. I like playing the games the way that the designers wanted you to play. Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, the other thing about it is back in 75 days, I mean, you would actually build a reputation on your server. And I don't know about that. Like, so if you built up a reputation of knowing, oh, this guy's a good player and everything, you would get invites and stuff easier. You would, you know, like, you put your flag up, and so someone's going to build a party, and you look at all these people, and you had a choice to be, so there's 3 thieves in the level range that I'm leveling with their flags up, saying before level sync days. And yet I leveled with this one thief before, and I know he did his job really well. I'm going to invite him over the other 2 just because I know that, you know, he does his job well. So there was a big thing about reputation on server, and I think people don't care about their reputation on their servers nowadays. It's kind of sad. Because the thing is, if I say I'm out at a camp, and like if I go out to a camp and I see someone's out there, if I might have pulled a couple mobs, and then if I see someone was there, oh, they were there first, I will then turn around and leave. But when someone like comes in on my camp and starts camping on top of me, I will actually not get like aggressive with them, but I will then like aggressively start pulling, and I'll be like, no, I was here first. And stuff, and if they keep doing it, I will end up blacklisting them, because it's like, if you're gonna have that kind of mentality, where you're just gonna camp on top of someone, and you're basically saying, fuck you, I just want to make progress myself, and this is what I want, it's like, I don't want to party with you. I mean, I wouldn't say most of my parties were even with pickup groups. Even when I was like my personal link shell that I built that wasn't endgame, and then even when I joined like an endgame shell. Now that doesn't mean like I'm going to level. I wouldn't say something to the people in my shell, and if they wanted to come, I wouldn't join, and I would definitely level with link shell members. But honestly, I'd say vast majority of the time, the majority of the party was actually pickup people through my experience. Like I said, now I don't know. I could see someone leveling, completely with their shell. I mean, obviously, what you did was your experience. But for me personally, no. Most of my leveling was with pickup groups. I would say well over 70% of people I leveled with, leveling 75, was pickup person. Or I was picked up by flagging. Well, no, there definitely was a stigmata on certain jobs. Like, definitely it was like Laughing Out Loud Dragoon, Laughing Out Loud Dark Knight. There were certain jobs. Thief was another one. That people didn't want Thief until you were like 60. Then once you were like, at 60, if you were well geared, doing like SATA dancing edges were good. But no, there were definitely certain jobs that people didn't want, and there were certain jobs that other people want. I remember for a long time, people didn't want paladins. They always wanted ninjas. Basically, because they're like, oh, well, the paladin isn't doing any damage, and the paladin is going to need more heals, whereas a ninja's going to be doing more damage, and if the ninja's keeping his shadows up, he doesn't need any heals. Although I definitely partied with a few ninjas that definitely needed more healing than a paladin would have, so... But that comes down to skill with keeping shadows up. But no, I do remember the whole Laughing Out Loud Dragoon and Laughing Out Loud Dork. I guess you could call them memes. We didn't call them memes at that point, but... Oh yeah, Ninja needed a lot of money, especially in like the level 40 range if you were doing elemental wheel spamming. Especially since we didn't have the universal tools that Ninja now has, which is so nice. It was such an inventory sink doing ninja. I'm just glad I never actually leveled ninja back in the days when, what was it? Shaishi's stacked in 12. I do remember when that was the case, and that wasn't for very long. They very quickly changed it to 99. But yeah, I feel bad for any ninja who leveled back in the day where Shaishis were in stacks of 12. Like, talk about killing your inventory. Yeah. I mean, was it Ninja was my 4th? Yeah, I did White Mage, Black Mage, Thief, then Ninja and leveling up. So I already had White Mage and Black Mage leveled, then after leveling Thief. So money wasn't really too much of an issue at that point. Plus, considering I leveled Thief first, it wasn't really required to have, like... I did the quest for Ichi, of course, because I don't know why you wouldn't. That was always fun, too, farming the Yagudo beads. But then, yeah, getting the money for Ni. I'm trying to even remember. Did I buy Ni, or did I actually just do BCNMs for it? I remember doing BCNMs trying to go for it, but I can't remember if I never got it and bought it, or if I did actually get it from a BCNM, and it was like, hey, and didn't spend any money. But again, like I said, I had other jobs leveled to 75 before doing Ninja. Yeah, I remember when they did that nerf. When you would do like multi-hits. Like, what is it? I know, remember with Dragoon, you would do pentathrust, and you'd have like 70... Well, that was back when it was 100 TP instead of 1,000, but you'd have like 70 TP from doing pentathrust. Same thing for War with like Rampage. You would have like 70 TP from Rampage. You get 2 more hits, and you could do another Rampage. Way back in the day. See, the funny thing is, I never got to experience those jobs pre-nerf. Because, like I said, my first job was White Mage, and then the second job was Black Mage. So, get the ads. You have ads, no ads, no ads, sweet. I guess that makes sense. Isn't Azurian Fist like 8 hits? I guess, yeah, you could just keep... Especially since Monk hits so fast. Yeah, I didn't play Monk much until basically Avicii days. So I mostly played Ninja and Thief were like the two main jobs I played, and then I played Red Mage a fair amount. And then also I did a lot of Ranger for Link Shells stuff. Would also still, well, obviously pull out Black Mage and Red Mage as needed for events. But the vast majority of stuff I was like Thief, Ninja, Red Mage, or Ranger. Did some things as a War, some things as Paladin also, but again, that was rare. I'm trying to remember my leveling order. It was like White Mage, Black Mage, Thief, Nin, Ranger, Red Mage, Scholar, War, Paladin. And from there it kind of drops off. So I think not long after that point was when like then Avicii came out, and by that point, you know, you're just leveling then everything in Avicii and really easy. Again, so I think my I think my server was mostly, it was Valifor. I believe it was mostly Americans. Or not Americans, but mostly English-speaking, I guess would be the proper way to say that. I mean, there was definitely Japanese people on the server. I would do stuff with Japanese people, but there would also be... You would occasionally have the groups where they're like JP only. You know, and they wouldn't want to do stuff. But I mean, again, it gets back to what I was talking about earlier with your whole reputation type thing. Because I actually did build up a reputation with, I know, some Japanese people where I would actually do things with them. Especially because I also tried making it very clear to communicate. You know, tried doing a lot of stuff through auto-translate, making it very clear what they wanted to do or what I wanted them to do and whatever, so, you know, we're all on the same page. So, I mean, like I said, I did encounter that where they, like, you know, there's like, oh, we don't want to do anything with English-speaking people, but I definitely had plenty of parties where I actually partied with Japanese people and there were no problems. And I'm talking in there, you had the language barrier too. You just needed to know how to use auto-translate to easily communicate what you wanted. Making dirty phrases with auto-translate. Yeah, I think everyone's done that who's played for at least a few years. There's possible we could have chemists. Having, what was it, Momberex? Because that's essentially what he is. This trust here. I mean, he's basically a healer that basically just uses items and potions. So, I mean, it's possible for the 20th anniversary they give us Chemist. Dang, still nothing. Typically don't go this long. I mean, it's one thing if I didn't get the belt. Because what are the other drops? I'm just shocked I haven't seen a single piece of equipment. What are we doing? We're doing 13. Yeah, because I haven't seen a hasty pinion. There's also a shield and feet that drop. Like, obviously I really want the belt is the thing, but yeah, I haven't seen a single item drop. What's it? They would always hold kings to keep it in JP time. I mean, we had some of that. We had kind of that going back and forth, because we would have, I know, what is it, North Americans would hold it to keep it in North America time. And I had JPs doing that too, so we had it on both sides going back and forth. No, I remember, what is it, when we first started playing the game, like MP King was a big thing, but I know in the later years in like TOAU, that like dropped off a lot, especially because a lot of that you would get like jailed for and stuff with back when GMs would actively do stuff instead of now where they like passively do stuff. Remember one thing that I always had fun doing was when they switched it to a lot of NMs to like pop NMs, like a lot of like heavily camped NMs. They switched to force pop, and I'm referring to the Gigas in was it Belcuff's Tower, the ones for the bracelets. I remember it was always fun when the Giga there were RMT up there, and the Giga would charm them, and then we were up there, we would just then attack and kill the RMT, and they'd get all upset about that. Then they'd try and do the same back to us, and they would fail miserably. Hi, Nintendo Jam. Welcome to the stream. Question, what job to play though? I'm looking to dual wield preferably, or two-handed if it's super heavy on spells, so I'm still new and poor. Well, considering you're saying new and poor and you want to do a two-handed job, or a dual wield job, Thief would be a good one. Thief is definitely strong. It's definitely, you know, you can make decent money off of it. Dancer's a strong job. Ninja's a strong job too. Ninja though is a little bit more of an investment. I don't feel, I mean, if you want to be top end with Thief, that is a slight investment, but alright, I gotta hurry up and then kill something if I want to get credit as fast as they're killing everything. War, I think, is a really good starter job too. That's a two-handed job though, and that doesn't take much to get started with. So yeah, so that's kind of my recommendations for starting jobs. I would either go with like War, Thief, Dancer, and then maybe put Nin on the back of that, depending if you're feeling ambitious enough to you know, be spending a little bit more money and stuff for Ninja. But I mean, honestly, go with any job that you feel that you would personally want. I think you can actually make it with any job, but just saying, going with a mage job, that typically, you know, takes a little bit more because of spells. But talk about some stuff to farm to sell to NPC. I mean, stuff to farm to NPC. I honestly can't really think of. I mean, there's plenty of different things to farm to sell off the auction house, but obviously you're tied up if you farm a boatload of it and you have like 30 stacks of something, you gotta wait till it sells. So I can understand having the appeal of having something to NPC, but I honestly don't know of anything to really just straight up farm and then to NP. Actually, the one thing I could suggest is doing the Unity NMs, the like level 75 stuff, and then NPCing like their upgrade material items. Like if you were to do, let's find one. Like if we were gonna do here, Bounding Belinda, which is basically Leaping Lizzie. I'm just gonna use it, Leaping Lizzie. So she probably drops a lizard skin. It'll probably be like Belinda, whatever, some bounding, you know, lizard skin or something like that. So that will probably NPC for like 1 to 2K each. Not to mention, by doing that, you will also get like Riftborn boulders, plutons, and stuff. And that stuff you can bazaar, and/or if you get a stack of 99, sell off the auction house. That'll sell really good. Not to mention, it's not as good now since they just now capped sparks. But to say, the level 75 Unity NMs is the best conversion from accolades to sparks. So you could then turn around and then, you know, buy shields with sparks for money. But now you can only do, you know, get 1 mil a week for that, which is ridiculous. I have a video coming out in the next day or two that has kind of, you know, ranting about that and hoping we get enough traction. Because I'm sorry, it should be higher. We should be able to get like cap sparks and accolades like 5 times a week. 1 time a week is way too absurd. Well, I mean, honestly, any job takes a while to gear up. But no, I am loving war dual wielding also. With the ambuscade axe, decimation, does retarded damage. Like, I am easily, like, and I'm talking not being buffed by anyone else, just by myself solo, easily pumping out 30k decimations. Easily. Warrior dual wielding, like I said, with the ambuscade axe is absurd. It's ridiculous. Are red mages still any good? Yes, red mages is absurdly good. It was kind of in like the 119, kind of was like, we don't really want it anymore. But no, actually it does really good now. There's a lot of things red mages can do that no one else does. So I know one big strat that's used now is actually going in with level 1 daggers and just doing end spells. Because by doing that and never actually hitting the mob for physical damage, the mob never gains TP. So basically you can just solo a mob meleeing it down without it ever doing a TP move, because you're not feeding it any TP because you're only doing damage through your end spells. That's just one thing. I mean, obviously red mage can nuke. But I mean, red mage is kind of jack of all trades, and it's a strong job. I had a lot of fun. I leveled it last month and mastered it during the CP campaigns. Getting Temper 2 is ridiculous. Triple attack spell. Basically, you have Temper 2 up, and now you have triple attack for the duration of the spell. It's a lot of fun. So they just put a daily cap on sparks to prevent RMT. Is it a weekly cap? No, it is a weekly cap. It's every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is when the reset happens, and it's for sparks and Unity accolades, and it's a weekly cap. The one thing to note, because I know in my video I wasn't aware of this when I actually made the video. The cap is on spending points, not accumulating points. So, and it's not just spending points, it's basically spending points from the NPCs. So, basically there isn't, my concern was with like Unity accolades that there was going to be a cap for the amount of, not Unity NMs you could go do. Because it's like, hey, what if I've reached my cap and I can't spend, I can't accumulate any more Unity accolades for the week. How am I supposed to go and do, Unity NMs? And that's not the case, because you can constantly keep accumulating points. It's just once you've bought 100,000 points worth of items off the NPCs, they won't sell you anything until the following week. So you can still accumulate points and also spend them in certain ways, just not in other certain ways. So it's still stupid. It should still be somewhere between 3 and 10 times a week. Or, I mean, it should be 300 to 1,000,000 points a week, not 100,000 points a week. It's just way too low. Because I'm sorry, RMT was probably making 1,000,000 sparks a day. So, capping it at 100,000 per week to try and stop RMT? Dude, just, like I said... Oh, where are my... Are they gravity? So, I mean, if they were getting 1,000,000 per day, so that means they're getting 7,000,000 per week. Capping it at, say, 300 or 500,000 a week, you're already severely handicapping them, and you're not really affecting players all that much. But capping it at 100,000 per week, that's way too low for players. It's absurd. Yeah, it really is. It really is stupid that they did it that way, and I hope they raise the cap some. Like I said, I think 500,000 a week is way more than enough. You can definitely get more points than that if you're hitting like all the XP windows and you're like going hard through all 3 XP windows all 4 hours. But I mean, it's like, okay, so you can't go as hard, you know, through all 3 windows. Okay, go do something else. I don't know. I mean, the sword is strong also. Savage Blade is really good. Plus, Savage Blade scales very well with TP. So, if you're going to be getting TP fast enough that you're getting to 2k TP, you'll do better with Savage Blade. The thing about the Axe and Decimation, Decimation scales with TP on accuracy. So if you're already like capped on accuracy, going at 1k or 3k isn't going to change your damage unless you happen to whiff on 1k for some reason, and you wouldn't have whiffed on 3k because your accuracy is higher. That's the only way it's going to affect your damage. Outside of that, so the nice thing about Decimation is that you just want a 1k spam go, and you don't want to hold TP at all. As soon as you hit that 1k, you want to go. Also, what is it? Decimation is fusion based, which which does very well with fragmentation stuff. So if you have someone doing Savage Blade, which a lot of people do Savage Blade, you can then make light with Decimation. So yeah, definitely you want both. So definitely get both. I didn't think this month's Ambuscade's that bad. I haven't done it this month yet, and I don't know if they made any changes, but it should be just the dollar hands. I actually have a guide. Here, let me see if I can find it real quick. Yeah. Unless they made changes, like upping his HP or something like that. Like I said, I thought this one was relatively easy. Now, it comes down to your DDs making sure that they pay very close attention to what's happening, and they throttle their damage appropriately. Because basically, there's time you got to make sure at certain times you're only TPing on the mob and you're holding your TP for when you need the weapon skill. There's times when you need to just completely stop and get the heck away from the mob, and then there's times when you need to just unload on the mob, and if you don't do those things correctly, basically you're going to get punished for it. Often with just a full wipe. So, but if everyone's on point, I thought it was a relatively easy ambuscade. Now, that's not speaking into about soloing it. I don't have any... I'd have to dig into it and try and figure out if you're talking about soloing or, like, low-manning it. But I'm talking about doing, like, difficult or very difficult, you know, with, like, a group of 6. Come back this way. Really? Son of a gun, man. I don't know, it's just meat. Kind of like... I mean, that's just meat that I've been getting out of the chests from doing, what's it called? From doing this event. So, I honestly don't know what to tell you what's used for. It's meat. It's kind of like, what's coral meat used for? Or, you know, what's, hare meat used for? Cooking. I don't know. I believe it's high-level meat, though, so... Gonna be more for high-level cooking. Wait, know that it's majority made in one tank? Like I said, I have... Go check out my video. It's a video guide I made that last time it was dollar hands. And, no, I did melee method. I didn't do nuking. You can definitely do melee method. Like I said, your melees need to make sure they know the mechanics and throttle their damage appropriately, or you're gonna have a bad time. So, like I said, check out the video and then just follow the information and make sure everyone's on the same page. Dang it. I haven't seen a single freaking item. I'm just kind of shocked about that. Because I spammed this out a lot back in the day and I wasn't anywhere near this bad. Now, I wouldn't have been shocked if, say, I got like 3 items, but all of them were crappy items that I didn't want. You know, that's one thing, but just not getting anything? Yeah, ambuscade is a great way to make money. I know when, I first, like, was getting into the, like, the endgame scene and stuff when after coming back, post, Adeline. Because I quit when Adeline was going to be released because I'm like, you're making everything item level? I'm like, no, I have no interest in playing anymore. If you're going to make all my gear irrelevant. Then when I came back post Adeline, and yeah, that was like my main moneymaker was ambuscade. That was like probably like 80% of my income was coming from doing ambuscade and then selling alexandrite or heavy metal plates or whatever. How are you being pigeonholed into playing one job? Because that's the like exact opposite that kind of happens to me. I'll see a shout for like ambuscade in there. I mean, I get it. Say you only have 3 jobs to play, and say you have like Dragoon, Sam, and Geo. Then yeah, I could see you're getting pigeonholed into playing Geo. But for me, like considering I have so many different jobs, you know, whenever I see a shout for something, I'll be like, I can come all these jobs. It's like, what job do you want me to come at? The only thing that annoys me, and it's not really annoying, but it's like, say they're shouting for 6 different jobs and I can come as 4 of them, and I let them know I can come as any 4 of them, and they'll be like, okay, well just come Paladin. It's like, why would you not continue shouting for more varieties of job? Because then that's more potential of having more people come in to fill the party faster. I just don't get why they quickly then, you know, shallow it down, but yeah. I mean, my suggestion, if you feel like you're getting pigeonholed, maybe level some more jobs. Alright. I mean, I guess it comes down to what jobs do you have leveled and are geared well to do whatever content. Then, like, I can agree with that then. I'm just thankful, like I said, having leveled so many different jobs, and once I finish a job, I try and pick up a new one, because that's where I personally have the most fun, so I don't feel I ever run into that issue. But I can see how someone could. Boom. Yes, it's the Walk of Echoes campaign is going on, and yes, all walks are surged. Yes. Yeah, I've wanted to take time and level up Pup. I've seen some pups do some ridiculous things, and I think that'll be a fun job to do at some point. I know Puppet Masters do make really good tanks, because they just have your automatons have such a high MP pool, and since they can't get charmed, for certain things it just does make them ridiculous tanks. Hatheim or Hatheim? Interesting name. Okay, so I mean that depends. So let's say the campaign is not going. Well, finally a drop, but it's the shield. Okay, so, well, here, I'll go with it. Surge walks are very much worth doing. Excuse me. If your goal is to get specific items, like the shield, even though I don't know why anyone would want this shield. Because that's not that good, but, I mean, it's not completely horrible either. A shield that does magic attack and everything, but anyway. So, because you will only get the +1 of the equipment, so if that was not a Surge Walk and I cleared it and I would have gotten the item, it would have just been the NQ version, not the +1. So, you want Surge Walks if you're going for specific equipment, which is what I'm trying to do here. The other nice thing is, because the campaign's going, all of them are Surge Walked, and because of obtaining a lot more items, you are going to find a lot more people doing it. Therefore, if you are a new and returning player, it's not going to be that hard because you're going to have other player characters with their trusts in there that's going to help you clear it. So, it's going to be much easier. If there's not a campaign going on and you're a new and returning player and you're trying to do it to obtain like devious dies and all this stuff so you can do Empyrean equipment, you are better off doing non-surge walks at that point, because if the campaign isn't going on, you're very likely not going to have help doing it, and being a, you know, new and returning player who isn't high-end geared, you're gonna probably have trouble trying to clear a surge walk event because it's gonna be much higher level mobs. So again, it comes down to context what you're talking about. During the campaign, when you're having help, yeah, you want to do them all. They're all Surge Walk, it's all great. And then you can get the items. If you're just going for stuff to upgrade or to get the Empyrean weapon skills, and there's not a campaign going on, and you're, again, a freshly back player, don't skip Surge Walk, because you're gonna be much faster clearing a non-Surge Walk conflux or zone or whatever you want to call it, so that way you're getting drops faster rather than going in and trying to clear a surged one that's going to take you that much longer, if that makes sense. It was a very long explanation. Okay, well, I'm glad that helped you, Nick. So yeah, so that's why I was like, it kind of comes down to context. But yeah, the only time you really want to focus on Surge Walks is if you want to get that, like, +1 item. Outside of that, you don't really want to be doing it. That's the best way I can explain it. Ooh. Okay, I'm glad that I explained it well and you got it. That's what I'm here for. That's why I, you know, do these videos and stuff. Is to help exactly for that. Really? Apona's ring is fairly easy to get. You should be able to get it with Thief. I'm not sure where you're struggling with that, because Ranny at this point at item level should be fairly easy to do. I think you'd also be able to do it with your trust. Oh. I didn't mean to hit Spirit Surge, but whatever. I wanted to hit Spirit Link. Left and right. I mean, the big thing is if you're gonna get Epona's ring, so say you're gonna go as Thief, you want to make sure you're going during piercing window. I don't remember what the time frame is on that, because it's going to be the hours of the day. There's like 8 hours of the day it's going to be slashing, 8 hours of the Vanadil day it'll be piercing, and then 8 hours of Vanadil day it'll be blunt. So you want to try and make sure you're gonna go when it's going to be piercing as Thief though. You're gonna go very close. Alright, it's starting to get late. I'm only going to be able to do a couple more runs, and then I'm probably going to have to call it, guys. Still crazy to think I only gotten one drop, and of course it was a crappy drop. Really? Oh, you're welcome, Mika. I'm glad you've enjoyed my guides and gotten value out of it. That's what I'm here for, and that's why I'm doing these. Making all these videos. Cheat again. Nah. So yeah, I've been doing with Walk of Echoes now for over 3 hours. And, you know, as 118 in Sparks gear with a veiled weapon, and then kind of crappy accessories, and no deaths. So now I'm sure if I happened to be trying to solo these zones, I probably would have had 1 or 2 deaths. But that's the nice thing about the campaign is typically you're gonna have people doing it. I still even remember on Valifor when I came back, which was still mostly a dead server. That people were there were people doing the event while the event was happening. So, like I said, this is definitely an event I think. If you are a new and returning player, you should definitely be doing, because you're getting items that you can sell in the auction house for money. And I'm even just talking the crafting materials. That's some money, since you typically aren't going to have, you know, much money to start with. Hopefully you're going to get some good items like the Wind Buffet belt or other, you know, or Flume belt, other good items like that. And like I said, you can just go back to the auction, or go back to your Mog House and send it to yourself so you can obtain another one. And then that's basically just making a ton of money. That's how I made a lot of my money with Caulifla when I first started leveling her up. And plus then you're also getting decent XP for merit points and decent CP for your job, so. It is, except for now it sucks that there's a cap now on it. So yeah, you can only make 1 million gil per week now. With Sparks. Like I said, they need to change that. Like I said, 3 to 5 times a week, I think is more than efficient, where you're not really going to be having problems. I mean, any person who's putting in a couple hours a day, you're gonna cap multiple times over throughout the week. So unless you're like a super casual player, you're gonna be capping, and it's gonna be affecting you. It needs to be somewhere between 3 and 10, or 300,000 to 1 million points per week to be reasonable. And I'm sorry, because like I said, I think RMT is getting at least 1 million per day. So if you capped it at 500,000 per week, like, you're already severely cutting them down. So I don't get it. Alright, this is going to be the last one. Keep our fingers crossed for some, for a belt. Belt, or at least a pinion. I wouldn't mind, because I don't think I have one of them. Hasty pinion. Who wants to run in first and get the ads? Not me. Didn't think I was gonna make it past. The heck? Alright, let's see what I got. Hope it's something good. Man. Maybe I'll have to try again next week. But yeah, it's getting late. I got to clock in for work in like less than 8.5 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up for the night. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. And may you guys have success in all you do.